What's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy, Mr. Big Face Coffee. Here with we live tonight, man. Chuck is in the building. Our boy Jeremy couldn't make it. He's out tonight, but make sure everybody, as you come on in, make sure you go to Kicknology YouTube, smash that like button, hit that subscribe. And so you can be tuned in with everything that Jeremy's got going on. One of those things is sports talk. We're doing that tonight. So my man Chuck is in the building. Chuck, how you feeling, brother?
Man, doing pretty good, man. Just trying to stay corona free. How about you?
Good, man. I'm good, man. I'm doing good, brother. What's up, my kick six? What's going on with you?
It's good, my kicks.
Joker Nation, what's up, brother?
What's up, Joker?
So we're gonna go ahead and get right into the talk tonight. Oh, my boy in the house, Smooth. What's up with you, bro?
It's good, Smooth.
All right, so what we talking about tonight, Chuck? It's always sunny in Florida, baby. You know what I'm talking about? It's always sunny in Florida. Chuck, what we talking about, man?
We're gonna talk about some NFL news, some college football, and the Buccaneers, of course. Gonna talk about them, how they made the upset on Green Bay Packers.
Okay, well, let's start right there. Let's just start right there.
That's cool.
As you guys can see, the background graphic for the night is the GOAT. I mean, that is Tom Brady, TB12, Tampa Bay 12. Okay. But he did his thing, man. In all seriousness, he did his thing. Now, our defense looks amazing, but one quarterback can't do it all on his own. He needs a compliment. He's got the compliment in the defense. I will say, Chuck, what I did like that he did, that Brady did, is he started kind of going back to some of those signature plays with Gronk. And not only did that give, I think, Gronk, they have that familiarity, but it also gave, it opened up the offense a little bit more. So now, defenses are like, okay, we got to be accountable for what they used to do in New England. And that's going to open up Godwin. That's going to open up Evans. That's going to open up, the guys that the third, fourth string that's coming off the practice squad. All them guys now are wide open because you have to be accountable for what Gronk might do. So I'm excited about that. I mean, the defense looks really like one of the best defenses in the league right now. They really do, from the front seven to even the secondary. They nice. And I'm not saying that because that's my squad. They actually do really nice.
Yeah, their defense is solid. I mean, I liked how they went after Aaron Rodgers. I think it was like Ndamukong Suh and Shaq Barrett?
Yep.
Both of them just were like double teaming him and making his day a nightmare. And running game was solid. Brady did solid. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. He didn't. Green Bay's offense pretty much made things easy for everybody. So, but still, Buccaneers did good.
So let me stop you right there, Chuck. Okay, so you're not gonna act like my man didn't do much. He did a lot. He
what was the stats, man?
Hold on. He now at the time, Green Bay was the best team in the league. I mean, they were the best team in the league. From that bad man Aaron Rodgers. I mean, their defense wasn't Swiss cheese because they was 4-0, and they weren't allowing just insurmountable amount of points to the other squads. So listen, what we gotta do is put a little bit of respect on Brady's name, on his arm.
You also got to look at the fact of what happened to Green Bay last year towards the end of the playoffs. They played a similar team in the 49ers. 49ers shut down Aaron Rodgers, and they essentially all they had to do by the time they got the ball was run the ball and in the game that way.
Yeah, it's not a similar team. Don't compare my Bucs
to 49ers. That's a similar team, man.
That's not a similar team at all. First of all, you got a D-level quarterback in porn star Jimmy Garoppolo, and you got the GOAT in Tom Brady. That is apples and oranges, night and day. Joker said they got
you got the B- quarterback versus the F- quarterback in San Francisco.
Stop. Joker Nation said they got snow up there. Hey, brother, you can have that snow.
I don't deal with that. Nope.
Yeah, my kicks. Yeah, we had a chance to practice. That's what's up. We needed it because we didn't have it in the off season because there wasn't one, right? So I'm glad we played it early. Okay, smooth. Give Tom Brady credit, Chuck. Just give the man some credit, Chuck. Like you look, brother, you can be a hater. Okay,
I will
give the man a little credit. I mean,
I will say this: I'm happy that he didn't yell at his teammates as much as he did previously. So that's a step in the right direction.
That's the credit we're gonna give tonight. Okay, all right.
For me, that's pretty good.
You're right. That is pretty good.
Take it where it comes.
Yeah, I feel you, Joker. I mean, you don't have to be a fan. I'm just trying to make sure that my boy, Chuck Ray, is not a hater. I don't want him to be a hater. He doesn't have to like the man. I just don't want him to be a hater. That's all I'm saying.
Hater. I'm just saying I'm not a fan. And we've talked about this numerous times, but I just won't consider him the GOAT. I'm just not. And it's fine because I don't mean to switch subjects, but I actually saw this. It was like a 1 hour interview they did with Jordan, like back in 2017. And he brought up a good point that every generation there's going to be a difference in who people consider the GOAT. Like, you know how you and me are like, it's Jordan by far. And some of the newer cats are like, no, it's LeBron. And we're looking at them crazy. But for them, it's like that's what they see. And I don't know. I'm kind of that way in football. Like I've seen Joe Montana, so that's why he's my GOAT. And when I see Brady and how the game is different now, it's like I just can't put him in that.
I feel you. So my kick six said, "Who that nation, baby?" My kicks, well, you know they in my division, and I'm first in that division right now. So we gonna move on from that. But what I will say about Who That Nation, my kicks, is soon my boy Jameis Winston might get a start out there.
I hope so.
I
hope so.
The homie Beezy, what's up, bro? Thanks for joining us tonight. Glad they won. Places my Bears in first. Hey, the Bears looking tough, especially after y'all let Trubisky go ahead and collect his rightful seat on that bench.
Best move ever by them this year.
Rafi Collects, what's up, bro? Thanks for joining us. Russell Wilson is greater than Aaron Rodgers. I can't even argue with that. Not this season. Absolutely. Russ for MVP. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Russ for MVP.
I'm for that. Give it to that man.
I know you don't like that, Snow Joker. Tighten up. Oh, now we going there next.
Talk about them.
We going there next. Hold on, Joker. We go. I know you want to go. Hold on. We going there in a second. Ravi, how y'all feel? Miami starting Tua. Okay, we gonna get there. So, all right, we gonna wrap up the Buccaneer talk. They look great. They've got who they got coming up next? Do you know, Chuck?
Oakland. I mean, not Oakland. Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Okay, that should be a decent game going against the old coach. But I look for them to continue the winning streak. All right, so let's move on over there. Let's jump over to talk to me about that game, Chuck. Who was it? Titans and who?
Titans and the Texans.
Titans and the Texans. Now, let me tell you about these Titans, man. You know, I was not a big believer last year. I was a believer in Derrick Henry because he's a monster. He's continued to be a monster. Did you see how he pushed that man? That it was a grown man now. He pushed that grown man, Josh Norman, out of the way like he was Jeremy. He pushed him out like he was Jeremy. I mean, the man just
I saw this one funny meme of they showed a picture of him shoving him out, but they also coincided showing a picture. You remember from the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Jazz would get kicked out of the house?
Yeah.
They had him in the place of that.
Oh man, D Reed, what's going on?
It's good, D Reed.
So, listen, I mean, I know the Texans are your squad, man. They've had a lot of trouble from the very beginning of the season. Now, they had a very difficult road in the beginning. You know, they probably had the strongest or the hardest strength of schedule through the first, 3-4 weeks. But I like that they put up some good fight against the Titans. I like that. They didn't win, but at least for you, that's probably, somewhat encouraging. The Titans look tough all around. I know some people don't really like Ryan Tannehill. I'm not a huge Tannehill fan. Obviously, he wasn't able to get it done. What was it, Miami? But he's doing his thing, and whatever system they got running, it works for him, and it's working for Henry. The defense looks great. Chuck, me and you talk fantasy football all the time. Is it John New? John New out there? Yeah. Listen, AJ Brown, listen. The Titans are tough. We saw that they was tough at the end of last year. I think some people thought maybe it was just, an anomaly. No, it looked like the Titans are here. And they're here to stay. So, who said that? I think it was a Joker up above. I think he said, "Tighten up."
Yeah, that was him. Yeah, they're 5-0. They deserve it. And one of the things that was key in that game to me was the Texans run. Well, the Texans defense in general is just trash. They, I know we kept harping on being mad at the fact that they traded away DeAndre Hopkins, but one of the biggest problems they did with dumb Bill O'Brien was allowing DJ Reader to walk. And DJ Reader was the anchor of stopping the run from the front. Him, Benardrick McKinney, linebacker that can stop the run, very key in that. He's out for the year. So I think combination of those two things just led to a spectacular game from Derrick Henry. But I give the most credit above everybody to Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is he's like the better version of Belichick if I had to come up with something, because he comes up with those key moments where it's like Belichick but at the same time players like him because he's like a player's coach, because he was once a player, so he understands what the players go through. So
yeah.
I know they're my division rival, but I give them credit where it's due. They're 5-0. They're solid. I'm curious what's going to happen though. They lost their left tackle, so I'm curious how that's going to go for them moving forward. But solid team.
Yeah. Let's get some comments in here. Jay done showed up. Hey, you see him, Jeremy? Okay, Cooley High. That's my generation. That's my generation. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's see. D. Reed say, Raffy just multitasking. How you been? Let's see. So Raffy said Titans got a big matchup next week. I think they're going up against the Steelers. That is a big one. And Steelers are they 5-0 too?
Yeah, they haven't lost either.
Yeah. Steelers look great. I got James Conner. He's doing his thing. Big Ben has completely, changed the feel of that team from last year when he was out. And your boy Claypool. I mean, man, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. But and their defense, obviously. I mean, their defense is always tough. So we'll see. Hey, Jeremy said I need to give that same credit to GOAT Brady. I know that's right.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay, so what else we got, Chuck? What else on the docket?
What else can we so we talked about the Steelers briefly. What else? Oh, did you check out that Mahomes and Allen game? Chiefs,
Yeah,
Chiefs, Bills.
yeah, I did. You know, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. My thing with the Chiefs is I feel like they get up for the big games, and then sometimes they let some of the stuff kind of fall through on some of the games that they really dominate on. This was supposed to be probably a really good game. I think the weather conditions with the rain kind of made it not so great, in the beginning. But I'm a believer in Josh Allen. He's got a big arm. I think he's gotten accurate within this last year. And they're doing some nice things. So they're formidable. The Chiefs, I think I said it before. I believe that they have a bit of the Super Bowl hangover, right? Which is, they had the chip on their shoulder. They had the edge to really want to win it last year. Now they've already got it. So as we've kind of talked about many months ago with Last Dance, well, what else do you as an athlete need to get up and get the motivation again to win again when you're already the champ, right? Jordan showed you, how he did it. And we talked about that from the documentary. I think the Chiefs have to find that, and I'm not sure that they found it yet. I think right now they're running off of raw talent right now, and obviously they still have a great coach, great assistant coaches, all of that. But I think they need a little bit more to kind of push them over the edge. So we'll see. What you got?
See, I think with the Chiefs, I think the problem with them is one is like injuries. Like they have injuries on the offensive line. Like I think like two or three of their starters is out. One guy who was a doctor opted out for this year. So I think it's that, and then I think also they're kind of in cruise control right now because I think they realize as long as they're at the right position in their division, they'll get to a certain point and just kick it into high gear. And honestly, I think they already have a goal in place. Like you heard Mahomes, he's chasing after Brady's number of 6 titles, so that's motivation enough right there as to why he wanted that team-friendly deal. And some of the other players, I think it was even Sammy Watkins renewed his deal to make it team-friendly. So I think a lot of returning players have the motivation. It's just kicking it up when they really need to. And
Yep.
Right now they're kind of in cruise control.
Okay. So Smooth says, I'm just glad my Giants got their first win, but the NFC East is terrible. We don't want to devote too much time to that trash division, Smooth, but I'm going to give you a strong 30 seconds on it. They're awful. The Giants are awful. The Eagles are awful. The Redskins are awful. And who's the other one in that division, Chuck?
Eagles?
I said Eagles. Redskins,
Cowboys.
Giants. Oh, yeah, Cowboys. Yeah, they're awful too. I mean, we just saw that. Now, obviously, that's probably somewhat to do with Dak being out. But I heard a little thing today that some of the players from the Cowboys were saying that it's been the coaches' issues over there. Like the coaches are unprepared. They don't know what they're doing.
I'm sure it's like a numerous things going on with them, like coaching. Probably, they're used to Jason Garrett, and I guess they're not impressed with Green Bay's ex-coach being the head coach for them. They got a ton of injuries on the offensive line. I think 4 of their 5 starters are out now. I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't have anybody protecting Andy Dalton. Of course, Dak's injured. Honestly, I feel like the team's just like, let me just get through the year injury-free, irregardless of how my play is. So, yeah, last night was just complete garbage play from them. So, be a rough year for them.
Yeah. So Rafi says, as long as Mahomes stay healthy, Chiefs will be good. I'm not saying they're not, bro. I agree with you. They will be good. Will they have the drive to push them into, going for that Super Bowl again. It remains to be seen. I just feel like when I'm watching them that they don't have as much get up about them like they did last year is what I'm saying.
I agree.
Rafi said with the trade, Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl. Okay, we'll see. So we just talked about Dallas. How about a Joker said, how about them Cowboys? I know, right?
Man.
So now, I know that you guys are used to hearing us talk a lot about the NBA, and so we're going to touch on that briefly. I got a couple questions for Chuck, but let's just finish rounding out this NFL thing. Any other teams, guys in the chat? Any other teams y'all want us to kind of talk about tonight? I know that we've got the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ravens.
Ravens.
They look a little different than last year too, and I think some of it has to do with their offense. I was really hoping that they got another big weapon from the wide receiver perspective. I know that Antonio Brown's name was thrown around for a little bit there. That didn't really pan out. They didn't end up getting another big name, and I think that really has hurt them because his best receiver is Hollywood Brown, who's a speedy guy, but he's a bit of a little guy at the same time. And then his go-to guy is Mark Andrews, but the running game hasn't been the same. Even Lamar's running hasn't been exactly the same. I think, was it not last game, but maybe the game before, he had like less than 20 yards rushing or something crazy. You know what I mean? Like, when has that been normal for him? You know what I mean? So I'm a little worried about the Ravens because I think in the beginning of the season, before the season started, I had them as my favorite to go to the Super Bowl. And now that's changed. So, what you think?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what I mentioned with the Chiefs. I think they're kind of in cruise control on their end too. Like, I think Lamar could, if he really wanted to, run it 15, 20 times a game. But I'm sure he's also anticipating the fact that the defenses are gunning for him to run. So he's got to be a little more cautious when he chooses to run around. So I think the running game, not Lamar, but I think with the running backs has been slacking, and I think they really need to figure out who their lead back is going to be. And it seems like one week that it may be Ingram, another week it may seem like it's J.K. Dobbins. But again, I look at them like the Chiefs. I think they're going to flourish come the end of the season, come playoff time. Hopefully Lamar brings it come to playoffs, because if not, they're going to be gunning for him again come off season. Critique the game.
And they're starting to look a little predictable with the run game. I mean, if Ingram's in, it almost seems like about 90% of the time you're running the ball. When Dobbins gets in the game, it looks like about 75% of the time you're throwing the ball. You know what I mean? And then you got, I think, Edwards or somebody is their third guy. And when he's in, the majority of the time he's running too. So it's getting a little predictable. But I hope they turn the leaf, because they were really exciting to watch last year, and I really was loving their post-game antics as well. Rafi said, Niner Nation, one of my faithful fans out there. Rafi, listen, I got some family members that are big Niner fans, and I got Mostert on my fantasy team. So for one, I'm a little upset because now he got a high ankle sprain, which means he could be out for as long as McCaffrey's been out now, which is 4 going on 5 weeks. I think it's time to just throw the whole 49ers away for this season. Porn star Jimmy, he ain't looking good. I think the setup is going to be looking like you guys might get Matt Ryan possibly next year. I've heard that floated around a couple times. I think you guys would be so much better if you did do that, because you need a legitimate quarterback to complement that great defense when everybody is healthy over there. But man, in the first couple of weeks of the season, you guys were like the poster child of injuries. So we'll see what happens. Smooth said, Raffy, what's good, bro? Niners don't look that good this year. They don't trust Jimmy G. You shouldn't trust porn star Jimmy. You really shouldn't.
They've never trusted him, to be honest. It's been all about the run game and defense. And just like what you mentioned, like with the run game, it's been Mostert's been in and out. I don't think they don't have a consistent runner as far as the running game goes. And then defense, yeah, they've been just injured. They lost two of their top defensive line players. I think from the dreaded Jets game back in week 2 or 3. So I don't think it's their year. I think it's that, like you said, that Super Bowl hangover for the team that loses. I think that's creeping in for them. So I think Seattle's going to be the one that wins it this year in that division.
Yeah, I agree with you on Seattle in that division. Yep, a lot of injuries. Joker said he knows the Vikings are trash. What about Justin Jefferson for rookie offensive player of the year?
Man, I'm sold on that.
Are you really?
Well, okay, if it wasn't for the Chargers QB.
Herbert looks amazing. I was not big on him in college. But there's some guys, I think we talked about this in our little text, Chuck. There's some guys that when they come into the league, they just look like they got it. And Herbert, to me, is one of those guys that just looks like he's got it. But let me talk about Justin Jefferson for just a second. I needed to pull something up. All right. And that's what I thought. Justin looks great, but he's looked great in spots, right? So he's had 2 games really where he was outstanding. Outside of those 2 games, he's been really not that great. He had one good game outside of those 2 outstanding games. And then 1, 2, 3 really just pretty much bad games. Okay. Now he's a wide receiver, and we know that wide receivers are really a product most times of the quarterback getting them the ball. Mm-hmm. Your guy, who is it? It's Kurt, right? Kurt, he just hasn't been who he was supposed to be from last year. The Vikings have been a bit of a letdown. I mean, Dalvin is my guy. Like, there's no bigger Dalvin Cook fan than me, because he went to my school, Florida State, and I will tell anybody that I believe Dalvin Cook is the best running back to come out of college football in the last decade, right? But that's a whole nother discussion. But they're just not fully in sync. Adam Thielen is a monster when he's getting the ball. And I think Justin Jefferson is going to have a lot of upside in the league. I'm not sure if I'm ready to give him offensive player of the year though yet, Joker.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's with Kirk Cousins, and I also think it's the scheme depending on who they play against. Like, for instance, I think about the Seattle game, they ran it a ton, and they only looked to Jefferson, I think, like 3 times during the game. So instances like that, I think it's going to hurt him. But and just like you said, he probably won't be offensive rookie of the year. It'll probably go to Herbert. But hey, sky's the limit for this guy. He's showing everybody that he was worth the first round pick.
Yep. Yeah, Rafi says Mark Ingram has been a disappointment. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Matter of fact, all of the Raven running backs have been disappointment. I got J.K. Dobbins, and I'm about to really let him ride back into the player pool because he ain't doing nothing for me.
Yeah, I have him in my other fantasy league, and I'm kind of I feel the same way, but right now I don't see anybody worth picking up.
Let's see. Rafi said the head coach is for Vikings and Kirk Cousins is trash. Yeah, he is. Rafi says, all right, catch y'all later. Yes, sir, Rafi. Thanks for joining in, man. Okay. So I think we circled the wagon on NFL. Let me jump into NBA real quick. I think everybody knows that Jeremy is a big Laker fan. So because Jeremy's not here, guess what? We're not gonna talk about the Lakers. He hates that. He hates it. I know he does. But hey, we done with the Lakers. No, they're not running it back next year. All the little Laker fans who are thinking, oh, we're gonna run it back. Yeah, right. You wish. The only reason that you got through this past season was because of that asterisk in the bubble. So enjoy your little parade, your virtual Zoom parade, and all that kind of thing, because it won't happen again next year. Now, let's talk some NBA, Chuck.
All right.
So here we go, Chuck. What do you think? What team do you think is going to make the biggest stride in this offseason? So the offseason is really from now until then. I heard Adam Silver say that he's looking to possibly start the next season on MLK Day, which is what, January 15th or 15th, 16th, 17th.
Yeah, around that time.
What team do you think in the NBA is going to make the biggest splash, right? Is going to have the biggest offseason to really propel them to kind of the top or the top tier, let's say 5 teams in the power rankings.
Okay. You can't count out Golden State. I think they have the number 2 pick in the draft, and they have ammunition. Nobody knows what they're going to do. I think they're going to be the ones to make a big splash, probably trade that pick for a top-notch veteran that's going to complement both Steph and Clay, and maybe even Draymond, but I mainly Steph and Clay. So I think it's going to be them. I think they're going to, of course, go back into the playoffs, and from there we'll have to see what happens. But I think they're going to be that team.
Yeah. Now, I have to agree with you, Chuck. For the longest, and this is from a front office perspective, I felt for the past couple of years that the Warriors are always playing chess while the rest of the front offices are playing checkers. And they do a bit of the unpredictable, right? And so, oftentimes you kind of hear the rumors. Sometimes those rumors are like, they seem so far-fetched that like, no way they can make that happen. And they either make it happen or they do something really similar, but with a different player that we weren't really thinking about. I know we've heard the rumors of Giannis. Not sure that happens based on this being, how much money he kind of be leaving on the table to leave Milwaukee this year. I've also heard Embiid in the pipeline, but there also could be other players. And, I don't know who that is, but on the same foot, if they do keep the number 2 pick, I've also heard, that some analysts who think that picking up a LaMelo Ball would be very complimentary to their system and what they do.
Really?
I've heard that, yeah. And I know we talked about it in our little chat. And I think I said to you guys, I was like, I could see Melo working out with the Timberwolves, and him and D'Angelo. I honestly do think he works well with a Steph and a Clay and a Draymond as well. Now, obviously, not as well as if you threw a Giannis in there or Embiid in there or something like that. But I don't think it would be a train wreck like, some people who thought, oh no, well, he plays similar, he could shoot the three and yada yada. I think it would work, but we'll see. I think they're gonna make a big splash. And then the other team that I think is going to try to do something is the Brooklyn Nets. I know that we're talking about obviously Kyrie and KD. They got Steve Nash as head coach. Did they officially bring D'Antoni on as assistant?
No, but that's the rumor, right? That he'll be brought on as assistant coach. And the Pacers hired a assistant coach from Toronto, so that's probably more likely.
Yeah. So Smooth said, I hate to say this and I hate to admit it, but Golden State, they have trade assets and already have a great team. You're right, Smooth. When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right. Joker, I hope the T-Wolves make the right decisions this offseason. I hope so too, Joker. I mean, they got some nice little young pieces. I'm still a fan of Karl Anthony Towns. I hope him and his new little girlfriend, I hope that don't affect him on the court.
Man, I think the Timberwolves, they need another Jimmy Butler to go up there. They need a guy that's going to make them listen to him and pull them into the playoffs.
Yeah. Smooth said also, I think maybe the Brooklyn Nets add a piece to complement Kyrie and Durant. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I mean, I don't know exactly who. I mean, I've heard about Bradley Beal, and I've heard, players kind of like him. But I'm thinking that if they're actually going to shoot for somebody, it's going to be somebody just a little bit bigger than that. Not to say anything about Brad. Brad is a great player. He is a really great player. But I just think if they were going to do something, it might be something just a little bit, with more lights and shimmer than Brad. But we'll see. Steph Curry's always been one of my favorites. Yeah, me too, man. He's a monster. And we'll get back into that conversation that we was having with Jeremy about what's your boy Dame versus Steph. Smooth, is it true Giannis might get traded? No. Well, could he? Sure, he could, but he'd have to be putting up a lot of fuss over there, and then the management say, okay, let's just decide to let him go. I mean, it's very, very unlikely that he gets traded. I think there's a bigger chance of him trying to demand a trade, but I also don't see that happening. I think he goes ahead with this next season, collects his money, and then he'll get a supermax deal from whatever team he ends up going to next, and I'll just say it, whether it's Miami or Golden State, because I think that's where it would be one of the two.
Yeah, he holds the leverage. I don't think it's going to lead to being like an Anthony Davis type situation. I think he'll probably play it out like LeBron, try to make it seem like, oh, I have a chance of signing back, and he's being upfront about it. I think he wants to if they have a chance to win a championship, but I think they're going to fall short. And after next year, he'll be looking to go somewhere else. Heck, I see him in South Beach with Jimmy
Buckets, Giannis, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Neutron. You heard about that? Hey man, don't be calling my boy Jimmy Neutron. What's wrong with y'all? That's why
man, that's some disrespect right there.
Jeremy looked like Jimmy Neutron. What y'all talking about? But all right, so that's okay. One more thing on the NBA then, Chuck. Who do you think has made the greatest addition to the team for coaching?
Oh,
who's gonna have the biggest impact of the new coaches?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I would say maybe Doc Rivers, depending on if they can make some moves to change up the team. But I guess for the current team, maybe Ty Lue. Because Ty Lue will probably give him that tough love. Like there was a lot of talk about Kawhi having favoritism and whatnot, getting away with stuff. Sounds like Ty Lue's not going to be that type of coach. He's probably going to make him accountable and make him be a true leader this upcoming season. So, and who knows, maybe that, and maybe he can make Paul George step up in big time moments. So I think it'll be him.
So I agree with you, Chuck, but there's a couple differences. I think Ty Lue's going to do a couple things. He's going to go out and get a really, I don't know who, but he's going to get a really good point guard. I think there's a possibility that they let or they trade Paul George for somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. Who can actually show up in the playoffs. And I think that with that, they will then be really who everybody thought they were going to be this year in the Laker killers, right? And get that curse off of them. I think that's
curse.
Yeah, the curse. I think that's possible to happen. We'll see. Smooth says he's saying it right now. The Heat will bring in someone, I don't know who, but they're going to sign someone. I can see that too. I mean, the Heatles, first of all, let's just throw that out there. Heatles, they're in a win now mentality as well. And so they're not trying to do a long-term project. You're right. They're looking for somebody, and they want the Greek Freak. Now, a long-term project wouldn't be, I think they would be okay doing similar to what they did this year and then getting that big home run hitter the following year, which what we're saying is the Greek Freak. Is he a free agent? Not yet. Not yet. Next season he would be. After next season. Wonder who the Rockets are going to sign. I don't know.
They're cash strapped, man. Like I think Harden and Westbrook both count $40 million against the cap. And I think the cap's like maybe $100 million. So that's 80% of your cap right there. So I don't know. Personally, if I were them, I would trade either Russ or Harden. And I would, because I just feel like you can't have two monster salaries like that and expect to win unless you're like LeBron or AD for this season. And neither guy complement each other like that. So I just feel like they need to break it up, trade Russ to a team that would really want him. I don't know, New York or somebody like that will be more than willing to trade for him and provide some not great but solid pieces around Harden. So we'll see.
I feel you. I've got to imagine whoever takes over the coaching job there would want to keep them together, would try to go away from this ridiculous small ball that they were trying to do, and get some bigs, get some another wing or point guard. Like, I mean, obviously I know that Russ and or Harden could run point, but I think whoever the next coach is would like to kind of move them into their right direction. I see you with the hat, Chuck. Okay, so keep that. Don't put back on any Lakers shirts and stuff like that. Okay, keep that. I'm good with that. Smooth said maybe they hire Jeff Van Gundy. I hope they don't.
Please.
I hope Jeff Van Gundy never coaches in the association again. Okay, I'm not a big fan. He needs to, and I don't know that I really like hearing his voice on as a commentator either. So
he annoys me sometimes because it just seems like he's too bubbly and just says random things, and I feel like Mark Jackson sometimes is like, what did you just say? But yeah, I don't think he's a good fit. He's an old school guy that I don't think is going to rub off well with the new generation, new generational NBA players. Where he's old school, where he's going to get in their, not get in their face, but demand that they show up and whatnot, and players are going to be like, no, I'm not listening to you, and I think that's going to cause problems. But yeah, I feel like the Rockets at this point, they need to bring in a guy that's a solid assistant coach from somewhere. I've heard about Paul Silas's son up in Dallas being a candidate. I've heard a couple of other people, and really they interviewed Van Gundy last week, and now it's a week later. I don't see them hiring him. I think they're looking elsewhere at this point, and I'm thankful for that. So that's my thoughts on Van Gundy.
They shouldn't have even brought him in. It's just ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
Jeff Van Gundy he'll get a job if the season's about to begin and they still have yet to find somebody. But at that point, I would rather you bring in Paul Pierce, you know what I mean, with no coaching experience, than to hire Jeff Van Gundy.
Van Gundy he's not worth it anymore. I mean, just maybe, if anything, the only thing I would listen to him about maybe a little bit of an advisory role, just to see if any up and coming head coaches that are out there. But outside of that, no.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, so that's what I had on the NBA. Did you have anything else you want to throw out there on the NBA, Chuck?
No, nothing else on my end, but I think we talked about it earlier, but let's bring up some NCAA. How about FSU?
Okay. How about them Noles, baby? They showed up prime time Saturday night. They beat the number 5 team, UNC. Look, that's my squad. Obviously, it's been a bit of a challenge this season. But what I will say is Mike Norvell, the new head coach, has definitely got them going in the right direction. I initially, so a year or so ago, was a James Blackman fan. But I think I then very quickly realized that he couldn't be the quarterback going forward. He was a nice little reliever here and there, but he can't be the quarterback going forward. And I'm glad that he's not. Jordan Travis, honestly don't think that he's necessarily the quarterback going forward, but he doesn't make the same mental mistakes that James does. And for that, I'm happy. We looked better. I think we'll continue to look better. And it'll only be a little bit of time before we right back on top. But I think we're headed again to a crash course of Clemson versus Alabama. I thought Miami was ready to come back to the big boy leagues, and they had their opportunity against Clemson, and they decided to stay home with their little turnover chain. In Alabama, I really didn't think they were going to look this good this year, to be honest. But man, they shocked me against Georgia. They really did. So
I was shocked that Saban was able to coach, because I was like, oh, he's out. He's out for 2 weeks. Like, nope. Three straight negative tests. He's coaching. I'm like, wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, Chuck. But both of those teams just look far and above better than everybody else. I mean, you got Clemson, Alabama, and then you have, Notre Dame, Georgia, some of those that kind of tier teams in there. So I'm glad college football is back. It's keeping me entertained, and a lot of other people as well. But before we go, I do need to make sure that I mention this. We don't really talk a lot of baseball.
Oh yeah, Tampa's in the series.
Okay, so Tampa Bay Lightning just won the Stanley Cup, and now the Tampa Bay Rays are in the World Series. We're about to find out how that go down, but we there, okay? And I know Chuck didn't really agree with this, early on, but we're trending up, and the Bucs just may make it to the Super Bowl. That is in Tampa Bay this year, so shouts out to Tampa, man. You know what I mean? We here. We are here. So we doing it across every sport right now, or all the major ones at least. So
I'm rooting for Tampa to win the World Series because mainly because the Dodgers was it? I forgot the pitcher's name, but he was kind of doing some dirty things when they played against the Astros. I mean, I get it. The Astros cheated couple of years ago to win the World Series, but at the same time, it's like you got to be a professional and not try to have it out on players by hitting them with fastballs. So, with that being said, yeah, I'm pulling for Tampa. Hope they win it. And I don't know, with your Bucs, you know me with Brady, so
I know, Chuck. I know. I'm working on you, though. I'm working on you. So
history works out for me though so far. No NFL team that's hosting the Super Bowl has ever made it to the Super Bowl.
True. And there's a first time for everything.
So
Exactly. So 2020 will be the year that not only that do we make it, but we win the thing. Okay, that's how it worked. Smooth said he'd love to see the Seahawks and Tampa Bay in the playoffs. I would too. I think it would be a great game. Again, as I said before, Russ for MVP. But one thing I do know about these Seahawks is that defense is super suspect. Even with
Adams
back there, he only one player. You know what I mean? And then front seven is ooh-wee. So they be looking like Swiss cheese, and that's why Russ and DK and Lockett and Olsen be having to do, and Carson have to do all the work that they have to do because the defense ain't helping them.
Isn't Bobby Wagner out for the year now?
I heard he. I didn't know if it was the year. If it's the year, they.
I gotta look again, but I thought I saw like it was like the second or third game of the year, and something happened to him, and it seemed like it was season ending. But I gotta look and see. I think it was like the Vikings game, but anyway.
Let me see if I can look real quick.
Yeah, because I'm curious. Because if he's out, then it ain't looking too good.
No, no, that was a while ago. Hold on.
Or you know what? Maybe it wasn't Wagner. It was Bruce Irvin.
Yeah, Wagner's good. Okay.
Bruce Irvin, but still, it's a key piece.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap up here. Make sure y'all come back, check us out next week. We'll have more to talk about. Again, hit that like button, boom on the subscribe, so you can get that bell, that little chime every time Jeremy's on for Truth Tuesdays, for Sports Talk Live with Truth, Tim, and Chuck. We got all the sneaker reviews. We be catching all these L's on the sneaker apps and everything, but Jeremy finds a way to get them. Okay, I mean, he finds a way.
It's not a method, but he's not telling us all about.
Yeah, he ain't even, he ain't sent us no shoes yet, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's
he gonna send us some. He gonna put some respect on our name and send us some shoes soon. I know that, Chuck.
That's right. I want some gold Jordans that they be giving out to the NFL players for making a 99 club in Madden. I want something like that.
hey, and check this out. If Jeremy don't get it for us, I bet you Jeffrey can.
That's right. Because Jeffrey could do everything.
That's right. That's right. Hey, but thank you guys. Before we leave, I do want to leave y'all with this one thing. We are a sports talk show, but I do believe that everybody watching, I believe in all 50 states at this point, early voting has started or is starting.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and vote, guys. Not going to tell you who to vote for, but go out and vote. Rock your right to vote. Okay, that's what we want to leave you with. Be empowered. We'll see y'all next week. All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.